Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we got a live tonight, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope all is well. Trying to pull the video up if I can get to it, damn it. So, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about Magnacut. That's one thing. Also, tomorrow night, I will be on Lefty EDC's live. I apologize for not uploading a video today. I also didn't upload the Patreon giveaway video. A couple people had some issues leaving their comment on the YouTube part, but I think we got it all figured out, so we're ready to give it away tomorrow. But aside from that, though, I didn't upload a video, but I do have an awesome video that I'm uploading tomorrow. Ed, I got something to talk to you about. I got a really good video I'm uploading tomorrow, and it has to do with knives that when you buy them, a portion of the money goes to a charity. So it's like knives that you should support by buying, or, you know, whether it's the knife company or the knife. So definitely watch that. I hope you guys do, because it's great if you see a knife that not only you're looking for, a knife you like, but if that knife or that company supports a charity, that they can help fund and help support. So that will be up tomorrow. So now Ed's pissed at me. Well, Ed, I don't know if you told me or not, but man, I took the old beast out. This thing should be called the cardboard get the fuck out of here knife or something, like the cardboard destroyer. This thing is insane. I couldn't even tell you how much cardboard. It was a lot. It was quite a bit. It's some massive boxes. So like a lot of the cuts were real lengthy. And this knife is a great example of leverage and geometry in one package, because it does have good geometry for such a big plate. This ain't little. It's a big knife. This is like XM24 size. But the ergos and the leverage you get behind your cut, it's like, even if you're going through thick stuff, it's kind of like if you're chopping or cutting up your cardboard with a really sharp machete or something. This thing is sweet. Boy, it makes you want to, like, if you have to go cut your recycling up or something, you're like, I ain't grabbing nothing else. I'm grabbing this beast. I actually pulled another knife out of my pocket for like a minute, just because I had, I wanted to test it and I wanted to feel how it's cutting. Put that bitch right back in the pocket, pulled this thing out. It is insane. So what's your beef with me, Ed? Told you that thing's a slight, yeah, it is beautifully ground and surprising. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. And this is just, looking at pictures. And I think a lot of us do this. I've seen it on other people's videos, and I've seen it, on White Mountain Knives or whatever. Looking at the pure size of it, I thought it's got to be thick as a brick behind the edge, which in this case probably wouldn't be as bad as if it was on a lightweight knife, because you get so much, such good ergos from it. So it would be understandable, but I wasn't expecting it to be ground as good as it is. It's nice and thin behind the edge. The flat grind is so tall that it just makes passing through materials so nice. So nice. Kind of like the, and I know they're completely different, but kind of like the sheepdog, the big sheepdog, because that's such a tall flat grind. A search party was sent out, and they have located the SOG Toughness XR. It was lost deep in the abyss of the cushions of the couch. I kind of figured, but the good news is it was found, and it was fuzzy. Well, I'm glad that the SOG was recovered and was in poor to good health. Good for that. I know I've had a lot of losses when it comes to knives. Lots of losses. What's up, Talica? How thin behind the edge? Let's find out. I usually save this for the review, because some of you guys only come for the thinness behind the edge. It's all you guys come for anymore. But let's find out. I'm kind of curious myself because it's damn thin. It is damn thin. Like I can actually just look at it and see it's really thin. The way the plunge goes, you can really see it. So let's find out. Damn, this is thin. Wow. Wow. I gotta double check that. 15 thousandths behind the edge is what I'm getting on this thing. 15 thousandths on this beast. And I would consider this a hard use knife. I would, and not just because of its size. It has a nice big stop pin, like a really good stop pin. Stop pins I wish I could see more of. Steel liner lock that is pretty robust. 3 standoffs, and it's big and girthy. The spine thickness, you know, it looks like about 130 thousandths, give or take, but you know, that to me is a great thickness for a knife. Having knives ground super thick just doesn't make sense. I understand for certain steels, and we're going to get into all this stuff. Where's my notes? Okay, so you know what? Why don't we just get right into it? How many people? We have 35 watching. Okay, so we're going to get into toughness just a little bit. And a lot of these things are going to kind of blend together as we move along here. Oh, that is the Goliath. Here we go. I used the Goliath at work a few times. Cuts everything from cardboard to banding, shreds, leather, rubber, hose, etc. Yeah, it's called the Goliath. What's the name of the brand? Oh man, I can't even think of the name of it. I always have a brain fart on here. But there we go. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about ceramic bearings and why. Yes, the Max Ace. Max Ace. I don't know how I had it. Yeah, the Max Ace Goliath 2. So we're going to talk about ceramic bearings and why they're self-lubricating. Got into a huge beef with this guy a while back about that. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But first, shout out to Outpost 76. Once again, he just did a cut test video on the Demco AD 20.5. So go watch that video after this one. He just posted it. I tried to watch as much of it as I could before going live. And yeah, definitely watch that. I would talk a little bit about it, but he just posted it and I want you guys to go see it. So steel toughness. Now, a lot of people, you know, obviously steel toughness, you know, is what it says, how tough the steel is, how much basically it can take, like from say bending and pressure and prying, stuff like that. And what you want in a steel, because by chopping, right? Chopping a chopper, you need it to have good toughness to be a chopper for like a fixed blade and things like that. You want it to be tough. Now, anytime you have, like with toughness, hardness, you know, like say edge retention and stain resistance, when you usually get one, another one goes down. Like it's hard to get a steel to balance, right? And I am no expert, so if I misspeak on anything, you guys feel free to school me. But you know, it's hard. A lot of steels, if you get one, the other one's dropping down. Like if it's really tough, well, then your edge retention's going down, right? Or, you know, vice versa. And then we'll get into Magnacut here in a minute. But toughness, when we think of toughness, you know, we think of, you know, the chopping and how, you know, how tough you can be on it, basically. But we don't think about the geometry with it. What's up, Fiend? Fiend's in here. What's up, bud? Now, toughness has a lot to do with how they can grind the knife, how thin they can grind that steel out. So, and I'm not saying like some of the lesser, tougher steels can't be ground thin. I'm not saying that at all. Of course they can. But when you get certain steels that have a good toughness to it, then you're able they're able to really grind it very thin, and that's when you're going to be able to get like insane geometry or those really thin grinds. And that's one reason why I love 14C28N. Again, I wasn't even going to bring it up. I don't even know where it just popped out of my mouth just now. I didn't even have it written down. But you know, it's a steel that's very tough. They can grind it extremely thin for great geometry. Cue Ball, what's up, Cue Ball? He said, used a Benchmade 905 mini striker once to pry some speakers I had installed and sealed with caulking. Didn't end well for the mini striker blade. Yeah, I've definitely snapped a bunch of blades. Now, a lot of times that'll come down to the heat treat, which we're going to get into that too. But the heat treat, quality of the heat treat, it has a lot to do with that. And then the hardness of the steel. There's a lot of different things. But, you know, I've had steels that should not have broke, like just should not have snapped and snapped under pressure. And that boiled down to the heat treat. And sometimes it will boil down to maybe even like the steel might have been burnt, you know, so, or, you know, maybe the steel isn't a tough steel, so you shouldn't have been doing that with that steel. And that's why when we talk about make it make sense, put the right steel on the right type of knife, make it make sense. Okay, now, so remember, toughness and geometry, they correlate a lot. The way they can grind a blade has a lot to do with the toughness, or it can relate. Now, let's get into really quick before we get into Magnacut. We're going to talk about ceramic bearings just a little bit. And here in a second, I might, if I can, pull up a video if I can have you guys be patient with me. We'll see. But okay, so what does self-lubricating mean? I always thought, and actually I seen video or Steve do a video recently on Instagram, and he just talked about it. But a lot of times when we think about self-lubricating, we think that, oh, it holds oil on the inside and oil expands out of it. That's what I didn't actually think that. I used to think that, and then I thought it had something to do with the cage holds the oil, and like the ceramic bearings absorb that oil or something. But actually ceramic doesn't absorb. But the reason why it's self-lubricating is because of the slickness of the surface. So another self-lubricating thing would be like Teflon. Teflon is self-lubricating because it's so slick. You don't need to add oil to Teflon. Actually, adding oil to Teflon washers can make it worse. Yes, you still lubricate your detent, even if it's a ceramic detent. Why? Why is the detent need the oil, but then, like, say the bearings technically don't? Well, because the detent isn't rolling. Okay, it's just sitting firm in a spot. It's not rolling. And, you know, it's sliding across a textured surface. So it's good to lubricate that since it's not able to roll. Now, going back to self-lubricating, the surface is slick. So since it's slick, it makes it to where it has a slippery surface already without oil. Now, I'm not telling you not to oil your bearings, your ceramic bearings, but you technically do not have to. And if you do, it just makes it that much slicker because it's already a slick surface. Now, what are the benefits of ceramic bearings? What's up, Lacey? 50 people and 33 likes. You guys don't like me today. All right, so what are the benefits of ceramic bearings? And then we're going to talk about what's the best. Okay, so ceramic bearings. 1, the high-speed capabilities. Number 2, the high tolerances. Why? Because it's so hard. Ceramic is extremely hard. So you can get higher tolerances out of it. And, you know, like, shut up, Talica. I'm not to that part yet. Less friction is another reason. Less friction. They last longer, right? And we're like, I guess we would be comparing them to steel bearings at this point. And they're very light. They're very light, and they don't have corrosion. Okay, unlike steel bearings, which have corrosion. Now, if we're going to talk about what the best is, okay, so Talic had to jump to conclusions, but yes, Teflon for a knife, and I actually got this from, shout out to Neevesknives. You can go watch his video. He hasn't posted in a long time, but he did tests where he took a bunch of knives, all different types of bearing systems, and threw them in mud and everything. And Teflon did the best. It was basically not affected, and that's because of its self-lubricating properties of the washer. It's very slick on the surface. So the dirt and stuff that gets to it, it just basically, it's not that it repels it, but it's so slick, it's easy. You just rinse it off really quick, or, you know, just keep going because it's so slick. The stuff just kind of like falls off of it. Now, ceramic bearings got second place. You would think phosphor bronze, right? Phosphor bronze. It's the toughest. It's for tough knives. It's for going in the fucking desert and shit. Wrong. Okay. Ceramic bearings did better than phosphor bronze. Why? Why did they do better? Because a lot of people think that, well, the tolerances with phosphor bronze make it, and I've always said this too, so I'm not saying I haven't been wrong. I've screamed that from the hilltops, that phosphor bronze is better for dirtier environments because, you know, they sandwich together and they get nice and tight and nothing can get in there, but that's just not the case. They can, and dirt gets in there and you can't just rinse it out. So in his test, after he put it in dirt and mud and all that stuff and got it all messed up, all of them, the action was kind of messed up, except for the Teflon. Teflon was just fine. But all the other ones, the ceramic bearings, the phosphor bronze washers, steel bearings, and I think he had 2 different phosphor bronze. So I think one was a Chris Reeve and one was a Spyderco. Anyways, they all got messed up where they didn't really want to open very reliably or good. Well, with the ceramic bearings, just put it underwater, went underwater, rinsed it really quick, came out, and it was just fine, right? Just fine. And I think a lot of people that have used ceramic bearings know that. They can just rinse it underwater. They can blow some air through it. Sometimes you go like this to it and just go, and then it's just fine. You know, one, it has the self-lubricating properties, right? The slick, you know, edges or whatever. And 2, you know, you have the gaps. Now, obviously different bearings like multi-row bearings and certain types of bearings or how tight the balls are, it can be affected, but it did better, right, than the phosphor bronze. The phosphor bronze was not able to be rinsed out. It actually had to be taken apart in order to clean it. So, somebody said Cam. Oh, what's up, Breeze? Does that mean my camera's messed up? I think a lot of people do, because we hear it from the knife sphere or whatever you want to call it, which, you know, I think a lot of times we hear things, right, in the knife community and just gets passed down. I'm not saying that phosphor bronze isn't going to do good under, you know, dirty environments. They do good under certain circumstances. Obviously, through his test, ceramic bearings won. Not that they repelled the dirt better, but when they did get dirty, it was extremely easy to clean out the ceramic bearings without taking it apart. What's up, Aunt Dawn? Oh, is Cam in here? What's up, Cam? So that now with the Teflon, though, the Teflon didn't need anything. Same thing with the ceramic, but it even did better. It didn't even need to be rinsed off. It was like he said he didn't even do anything. He might have I don't know. He said he didn't even do anything. He said it was just fine, and it was still flipping, still doing everything. Like I said, the ceramic bearings did have to be rinsed out really quick, not taken apart, just rinsed underwater, and then it was back to normal. The phosphor bronze washers wound up having to be taken apart before they were cleaned. So now, with the ceramic bearings, so I'm sure, like I was saying, with multi-row bearings, or, you know, because there's so many different kinds, right? There's the caged ones with the bronze washer, the metal cage. There's the plastic cage ones. Those personally, at the moment, next to like Gillian's bearings, but like just from a production company's point of view, the plastic ones from Tucson are like my favorite. I think those work great. They stay lubed for a long time. If you lube them, you don't really have to lube the ceramic bearings, but you do want to lube the D10. A lot of times when your action is gritty, you know, and you're like, it's just the D10 ball. throw a little tiny drop of some KPL on your D10 ball. It'll be slick as snot. And you can check to really see it if you just hold your lock bar off of the knife and then move the pivot and see if it goes away. If it goes away, it's just the D10. Yes, the two sun bearings are awesome. Would like to see what type of bearings were used caged for. Okay, so it was the SOCOM Elite, which they are using. You know, I haven't taken it apart. Let me see if I can see in here. I think they might be Teflon, or I don't know if it's plastic or Teflon. I think it's plastic that Tucson uses, and I think this is the same. I think they're plastic, just like Tucson's, just bigger. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's hard to tell, but that might be metal, but I don't think it is. I think that's plastic. I think it's plastic. So that might have a lot to do with it. So I'm sure under certain bearings, you're going to have different results, right? I think the test to do would be 3 different kinds of bearings, 3 different kinds of knives versus 3 different kinds of washers, 3 different kinds of knives. That would be the real test, I think. Polymer, is that what it is? Is it polymer caged or ceramic caged polymer? Ah, fuck, I can't say it right. It's caged in polymer. Damn it. My Tucson is glassy. Yeah, mine are too. Tucsons do a good job with their bearings. And I was very impressed the first time when I took it apart and I seen their bearings being in a plastic cage. I think that's an awesome idea. It's not going to corrode. It's not going to, you know, it's plenty tough, plenty strong, because no pressure goes on to the plastic. It goes on to the ceramic. Now, ceramic, if you watch Nero Knives' old videos, he even took one of the ceramic balls and put it in a set of some needle nose pliers and tried to crush it and could not crush it. Yeah, the Gillian bearings they're really good, but taking those away, right? Because those are going to be custom made bearings. So you can't, it's hard to compare. I don't want to compare those because those don't come stock on a knife. Those you got, unless if you're buying his knife, right? His custom knives. But yeah, they're, you know, he uses the white ceramic too, which is a little bit slicker than the black ones. Ceramic is so hard, very, very hard. It's like, it's almost as hard as diamond. Not quite, but I mean, like, it's like, I forget the levels, how it goes. What's up, Richie B? Okay, so now let's talk about the Magnacut. Magnacut. Remember, guys, if you guys have any topics you guys want to talk about, I do want to pull up a video here in a second. Let me see if I can do this right now. I don't have Kara with me, so forgive me if I'm fucked up. But Magnacut. So I am not a no professional by no means, but is that how I do it? I think this is how I do it. Share. Okay, so take that away. Now, give me 1 second. So, Magnacut, though, from what I've seen, it's an extremely well-rounded steel. Now, it's that's kind of the beauty of it right now, and from what I've heard from so many people, that's kind of the big deal about it right now, is because it is so well-rounded. And I'm going to pull up a video if I can find it. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a video. This is Triple B. This is Triple B. Can you guys hear? You guys can't hear that until I pull up the video on the thing. So let me go like this. Okay, so I'm going to go. Hold on a second, I gotta go back really quick. Sorry, guys, I'm fighting to learn this shit perfectly. Okay, so now this video is... What the heck, man? Go back. Oh, it's gonna piss me off. How do I do both? Like this, and then go to this. What is going on? Why won't it bring me back over? Let me try this. Go like this. Then go to this. Over here. Why will it not let me go back over there? All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna have to do it like this. StreamYard. Bam. Now I'll go bam. Now I'll go bam. And now I'll go. All right, I'm gonna shut up so you guys can listen to this. Do I have that right? No, I don't have it right, do I? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to fucking do this shit. I just don't got it right. Remove this. Okay, so I have to go like this. Right now, my screen would be that. Trying to do it where you guys aren't seeing all kinds of like personal shit. Stop. Oh, it's not working. All right, fuck it. Here we go. Oh, no, it didn't work. I messed it up. I'm such an idiot. Oh, man. Can you guys hear that? Probably not. All right, sorry. So anyways, Magnacut, I'm going to talk about it really quick, and then I'll go to that video since I'm an idiot and I just lost it. Chrome tab, YouTube, right, share. Okay, now I think I got it right. Sorry, guys. All right, so Magnacut. I'm going to talk about it really quick, and then we'll watch this little video as soon as I get it off of here because I'm an idiot. Okay, so it's powdered stainless steel. Has finer carbides, which are one of the reasons why it's going to be easier for the companies to grind. Okay, and this is just all what I've heard. I obviously don't make Magnacut, so I'm taking information I've heard. Okay, so looking at like its stainlessness, right, on the charts. I remember we were talking earlier that when you know, if something has a lot of edge retention, it usually loses toughness. So, but its stainlessness is actually similar to 20 CV, which is incredible because 20 CV is extremely stain resistant. Now, for a knife to be tough, good edge retention, and stainless all in one, that's incredible. So next, its toughness. It's almost as tough as Crewwear. Okay, so it's about as tough as Nitro V, I think I found, and which is a little bit under 14C, tougher than XHP, and S35 VN, which S35 is a little bit tougher than S45. So it's a good tough. It's plenty tough. It's a good tough steel, which is going to help it, and especially with its finer carbides, it's going to help it to be able to be thinned out really good for thinner geometry. Now, it's still going to wind up doing good for the thicker geometry as well. Its toughness, you know, being as tough as it is, that's pretty good. I also seen it was kind of similar to CPM D2, which CPM D2 is tougher than regular D2. Now, its hardness, so like it's you know, obviously its hardness depends on how hard they HRC it, but its edge retention is similar to, did I do that right? Okay, so it's similar to excuse me, 4V, which is incredible. So now 4V is an awesome steel. It's you know, it's really tough, but the thing with 4V is it's not stainless. So its corrosion is up. It gets, you know, it can corrode. But with this steel, with the Magnacut, it has good stainless properties. So you're getting good edge retention, I think it was like similar to crew wear, I think, or 4V, S45VN. So seeing all that, when you look at it, it's like the 3 levels of what we look at to see what's a good quality steel. It's really, really good. It's very, very well rounded, which is awesome. Kind of like when I look at, like, I hate to do this to you guys. You guys are gonna wind up naming me 14C, but when I look at like 14C 28N, one of the reasons why I love it so much is because of how well rounded it is. It's such a great, well rounded steel. So Magnacut is like that, but superior. So you're gonna wind up getting, I hate to say it like that, like kind of like an awesome version of that, but that's what we want in a good pocket steel. Now, another beauty of it, check this out. This is where it gets really awesome. Not only is it fucking amazing for pocket knives, it'll be amazing for fixed blades, kitchen knives, all of that. So it's a steel that companies could use and be proud of across the board. It's not like where it's like, okay, this is going to work really good in slip joints, because some steels are like that. They're really good, but they're not going to be good for everything. This is good for everything, which is awesome. So if you guys get the chance, you guys should definitely watch some videos. Shut up, monster. Yeah, they wouldn't do it. And another thing is, and let me just be clear really quick, all these things, the toughness, the edge retention, all goes up and down depending on its HRC. So, but it looks like that they are, this is just from what I've seen and found. I think they're looking at between like 61 and 65 or 66. I think you can go up to like 66, 67, but everywhere in that range, it is where it's going to do like really good. Now, I could be way off on that. It's yeah, exactly. It's the Decathlon of steel. Now, that's going to be awesome if a lot of companies decide to pick it up and start using it. Now, the problem is it's not going to be widely available. So, and that's kind of the reasons why you don't see custom makers using 14C28N. They don't use it a lot is because they can't get it. When you get it 14C, you have to buy it in big bulk. And I heard that from a knife maker. That's what he was saying, that the only way to get it is if you get it in giant bulk, where other steels you can get, 5 pieces or 5 billets or whatever. So, why am I not seeing the comments over here? Oh, there we go. Okay, so M390. Is it better than M390? So its stain resistance is similar to M390. Its edge retention isn't quite as good as and listen, guys, I'm speaking on if M390 is done right. So now this is where I think it'll be better than M390, because no, for edge retention, it's not, but it's tougher than M390. So being tougher, now it can be ground thinner for one, because it's tougher. So since it's tough, you can grind it thin without it breaking and cracking and chipping and this and that. So not quite the edge retention of M390, but close. It's not far behind it. It's right there. And let's be real. M390 it's across the board. We haven't yet to have seen any consistent M390. None. Nobody has seen consistent M390. Not unless if you're seeing it from a custom knife maker. So I believe, and I've listened to a bunch of knife makers talk about it and talk about how they ground it. I listened to Andrew Demko on Triple B's. I would pull it up, but I'm not gonna. But he talked all about grinding it and everything, because he said, being as tough as it is, and the edge retention like 4V and everything, he was worried about grinding it because 4V is a son of a bitch to grind, but it's easier. He said it was awesome to grind. He said it wasn't quite as easy as S35BN, but he said it was easy. And the science behind that is because of its finer carbides. Since it has finer carbides, it's easier for the companies to grind, which makes it so much easier to deal with. Now I think that it'll be a steel that's easier for companies to bring to us of high quality without messing up. Obviously, any steel is susceptible to being messed up, but I do believe that it's going to be easier for them to deal with than M390, and we talked about it before, the reasons why M390 always gets shit, or why we always get shit M390, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes mediocre, is because it has to be like the heat treat when they're heating it up. It has to be within like 50 degrees of a specific temperature. If it's over or under that, then it's not going to be as good. Now, what is a heat treat? Let's just talk about that really quick before we get into this little cut test thing I'm going to show. It's only a few seconds, don't worry. But heat treat is where you think about it like cooking. You think about cooking anything, baking a cake, cooking whatever. They take the steel and they heat it up, they form it to whatever. Then when they heat it up to heat treat it, they're putting it in the oven and cooking it, right? They're cooking it. Then they take it out and they cool it off, right? They cool it off by putting it in the oil, water, whatever, however they, cool it off. Some people use like a cooling device. It's like a clamp and it clamps down. It's like ice cold or whatever. And they cool it down really fast. So, but when you think about a heat treat, think about it like this. Think about baking a cake. If you undercook a cake, what's it going to be? It'll be doughy, right? If you overcook a cake, what's it going to be? Crunchy, right? It'll be brittle. If you make it just right, it's perfect. It tastes good. It's fluffy. Think about that like with the steel. If it's underdone, then it's soft and it'll bend. And if it's overdone, then it's too chippy, it's too hard, it's brittle. When it's done just right, it's tough, good edge retention, and everything. Okay, now let's get into just a little tiny clip of Magnacut really quick. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Now let's go over to here. Are you guys ready? Let's get to the bigger one. All right, this is Triple B. Shout out to Triple B. That's amazing. Look at that. Look at that. It's only scratched the surface, basically. No chip, no roll. Most steels, you would see a giant crater. Now, this is with his heat treat. And I forget what HRC he said it was. He said it at the beginning, like whatever it was, 63 to 64, I think. What you're seeing there is just the debris from the nail and the scratching of the surface. So this shows how tough it is. With a good heat treat. Very nice. Now we're gonna, here in a second, there's the knife right there. You can see all it is just scuffing of the surface. Okay, now let me get rid of this. So in a second, yeah, it's very impressive, right, Spanky? Very, very impressive. About 120 here in Vegas today. Damn. You know what though? 120 here, I bet feels a lot worse than there where you're at, because here it's so humid. 90 degrees, man, it'll be like 50-60% humidity, and it takes your breath away. It's sticky, it's nasty. Like any other places I've been to, when it's been like 100 degrees, it feels so much better than here. Sorry, I got this fucking thing going. I gotta shut it off. But what were some other things I want to talk about? Humidity sucks. Yes, humidity does suck. It definitely changes heat. Like, just dry heat isn't so bad. I can handle dry heat. I can handle any heat, but dry heat just feels so much better than high humidity heat. Yeah, 120 though. That's beyond crazy. That's fucking hot. Whew. So don't forget, guys, tomorrow night I'm going to Lefty EDC's channel, so you guys can hopefully stop by there. Give us some support. Mike Emler, I sent him a bunch of knives. He's been reviewing some of my knives. He does 3 different things. He does first impressions, then the review, and like a takedown or whatever. So he does do 3 different videos on each knife, but you guys should definitely be checking out his reviews. He needs a lot more love than he's been getting, and I'd really love it if you guys would go over there and give him some love. Drop him some likes, drop him some views. Okay, so let's check out really quick some Nitro V. Okay, now this Nitro V, what I want you guys to get from this is heat treated by a custom maker or a professional heat treater, or even just saying somebody specializing in heat treat that can do a really good job, is way different than what you're gonna get from, say, a lot of production knives and companies. So you don't want to just think that this is what you're gonna get from your production knife. However, when it's done, and that's what we're kind of looking at, is like the difference here when you have one done on a custom level, a custom heat treat, and you really see the difference here. And as soon as I find it, I'm finding it right now. Where is it? Almost there. I should have been there by now. I'm past it. But it's gonna be right here somewhere. What the hell? I have to go to this channel and look it up. Now I'm not finding it. Why am I not finding it? That's crazy. I had it ready. Here's the Demco thing. One more time, and then I'll just look it up my damn self. This is beyond crazy. Why am I not finding it? All right, let me just see if I can't look it up really quick. That's the Knife Lab. Damn it. Looks like I'm not going to find it. Oh, I think I found it. Okay. All right. So let me just get it ready. So now this is, I'll just go over it while we're watching it. All right. So this is Nitro V, 20 degrees per side, between 63 and 64 HRC, the hardness level. Okay, 20 degrees per side is the angle that the edge is sharpened at. 40 degrees inclusive is 20 degrees per side. So a 20-degree angle on each side of the knife for the edge equals 40 inclusive. Let's hit play and let's watch this test. Another nail. 25 thousandths behind the edge. It's 105 thousandths at the spine, 120 grit edge, 120 grit finish. So a very low grit. This is basically like a reprofiling grit. Like the first stone I would start off with sharpening a knife to reprofile. Look at that. No damage. And remember, this is Nitro V. That is really good. Now here's 15 degrees per side, 30 inclusive. We're talking about the edge angle. Oh, I thought it was going to show it. Never mind. Maybe the other one was. But you guys get the gist. Now, that's not going to be the same as if... I gotta turn this off. Otherwise, it'll start. That's not going to be the same as if, you know, like production knives. They're not going to have the HRC that high, most likely, on Nitro V. But it gives you an idea of the difference, you know, because if that same test was tried with a production steel, same steel, just done by a production company, it's not going to, it'll probably fucking roll or chip, break. What's up? EDC, these nuts. Bang. See how a custom heat treat is better. Right. That's basically what it's showing is how, and he shows that all the time. If you go to Triple B's channel, he shows that quite often, you know, and you get to see the difference, the level of quality, you know, is, which you know, when I first started getting into the knife community, it was something I really didn't understand. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't grasp it. And as I watch some of these other channels, you know, I can see with their views that people don't get it. And what I mean by that is they're not getting the views that they should be. There should be so many subscribers paying attention to this, but they're not. Why not? They're probably not because they don't understand it. And I know sometimes it's because I missed a donation. I couldn't see it. Oh, man. Where's it at? Let me find it. I don't see it. There it is. Oh, Benjamin, thank you, man. Thank you, bud. I'm sorry. When I got the thing on, I can't see. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. We'll give another bell since I missed it. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. So I think a lot of companies do care, you know, and it's not that they're not trying to give us the best heat treat that they can. It's just what is possible, right? And that's why certain steels just shouldn't be done by production companies, because it's not possible for them to get the level of quality that's advertised. And it's because they're advertising that's because when they heat treat one, that's what it comes out to, right? And then they can test it and they can see, oh, this is how good it does. But not when you're doing 50 or 100 or, God forbid, 1,000. Thank you. Thank you. What's happening, beautiful people? Sorry I'm late. What's up, Grateful Panic? Man, you've missed a hell of a show. Hell of a show. We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm actually about to run out of stuff to talk about, I think. I didn't write down too much, but I did see the new Civivi button lock knives, which are actual button locks with deployment options, which I think is awesome. I think that they should have did that for the Elementum, because the Elementum, I mean, I love the look, design, grind, ergos, everything about the Civivi Elementum, but it's not getting the love that it deserves because it's only a button lock. There's no way to deploy it, which I can still see the awesomeness in it. And let me say that again. I'm going to bring it up really quick. Because a knife like this, right? Take the action out. Let's take the action. Let's take everything else out. Kind of like, and I don't want to compare it to a Sebenza. My Sebenza's over there. I don't want to compare it to a Sebenza, but when you look at a Sebenza, people forget about the action, right? It's a slow rolling action. You know, it's not on bearings or anything like that. I know a lot of people don't like it because of that, but people tend to overlook its slow rolling action. You know, it does have very smooth action. I'm not saying it's not smooth as butter, but people tend to overlook it because of how great it is as a tool. It is such a tough, well-ground, beautiful blade shape, beautiful choil, just everything about it is great, right? Kind of like with this. And I'm not trying to compare it to the Sebenza. I'm just saying that if you take away the button lock, right, and you say, forget about the deployment option, just the knife overall, very, very good, straightforward ergos. Like, they're very neutral, right? Great shape, nice and rounded back here to go right into your palm without being uncomfortable. Great size. You can get a full grip. The grind and blade, the blade's what, 120 thousandths, I think. Thickness gets down to like 15 thousandths behind the edge with a nice deep hollow grind. Beautiful fucking plunge grinded sharpening choil. Great blade shape. Just everything about it is so great as a tool, right? As a tool. Now, when I hear anybody talk shit about it, all I can think of is you only open packages. That's all I can think of, because as a tool, it's kind of like a guy. This I don't want to. I'm not talking shit about anybody, but I think about it being on a construction site and somebody showing up with a 14-ounce hammer or something, right? Just like, it's a hammer. It's a hammer. It'll work. It's a hammer. It's like, that's not a framing hammer, right? That's not a good tool, right? It's not a tool you bring to a construction site. Get yourself a 20-ounce fucking framing hammer, right? Well, I think about like that, like, yeah, the action, if you want deployment, I mean, the action's fine. I mean, I don't mind doing the button lock thing, but I do get it because I want a deployment option too. I want to be able to deploy it without having to push the button. But taking that away, man, it's such a great tool. Just everything about it is great, aside from that one thing. Holy guacamole. What the hell are you guys talking about? You guys be going in the comments, having all kinds of conversations about me. Earlier, I was talking about the Goliath. This thing is a cardboard destroyer. I was talking about how I broke down, like, I don't know, it was a whole bunch of gigantic boxes. I mean, big boxes. And I was just going crazy. And it was almost like I was doing the work with a fixed blade. It was, the geometry is so good on this thing, but the ergos and leverage you can get behind the cut make this thing's a perfect example. I said this at the beginning. It's a perfect example of geometry and leverage put together. Man, this thing destroys cardboard. Non-knife budget is done for a while. Yeah, that's how I am right now. Oh, but you know what though? Knife Works. Yeah, Knife Works. I got over $200 sitting there that I can use right now from returning that Spyderco. Magnacut. Yep, we talked all about Magnacut. Yeah, $213. I went through their knives. I seen a few things that I liked, but nothing that just stood out to me and said, buy me. I seen one Wii knife. I forget the name of it, but it's a limited run, like a limited thing. They're not going to have a lot of them. So I was like, I don't know about that one. And I was thinking, should I get 2 knives or 1? But this is going to be a knife purchase that I'm not going to be able to make another knife purchase for a while. So I'm gonna have a knife sale, but I gotta, use. I'm gonna maybe take some of the funds and put it back in the knives, but most of it's going into a bill I gotta pay. So what's up, Lefty? I was talking about you just a little bit ago. So definitely tomorrow night we're gonna be, or I'm gonna be on Lefty EDC's live. I think it's at what is it, 9 o'clock my time? I don't remember. It's Eastern time for him. I think 8:30 his time. So maybe it's 9:30 my time. I forget. But it's tomorrow night though. So if you guys just go over there and hit the bell. But yeah, that will be an awesome, awesome time. We're gonna shoot the shit over there. Talk some knives. Let me see. Lefty, what time is that live? 8:15 Eastern. 7:15 my time. Good thing I didn't say 9. I'd have showed up late. No, I'd have been there. So definitely go check us out tomorrow. And if you're not subbed to Lefty EDC, smack yourself a couple times and then hurry up and go sub. The D10 Diva has arrived. The D10 Diva. It's winter in Antarctica. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I seen Ed has a version of this knife, the Kubi Noble. And if you guys don't know, Big Red, actually there was a group of people that had to do with it, but it was mostly Big Red, helped name this knife because Kubi was asking the community to help name this knife, and Big Red came up with the Noble, right? Awesome name, by the way. Love the name. But Ed has a fucking hollow ground version of this. I didn't even know they made hollow ground versions. What's up, EDC Journey? And it looks amazing. And this thing has great acoustics the way it is with the flat grind. So I can only imagine with the hollow grind. Okay, so I seen Metal Complex picked up a couple Shiro Gorovs, and I left him a comment. What did I say? I said I said some smart ass thing to him. Oh yeah, I said I said, why don't you just tell them the truth? You got some Shiros because you've seen my collection, my knife collection, and my badass Shiros. And I said, you felt a little knife insecure. So you had to hurry up and go get yourself a damn Shiro to make up for your underwhelming knife collection compared to Neeves knives. I don't know if I said all that, but I said something similar to that. Ooh, they are great. He got the what do you get? The Quantum and then one similar to my my F3R. It is an F series. Lefty said my knife sucks. Lefty says everybody's knives suck. He don't even like knives. Out of 10,000 knives, he likes 5. So don't be too butthurt over that. One day we'll find a knife for him to like. You know what? A knife I don't know if he'll like, because he'll probably say it's ugly like I do. But Lefty would love this knife. Well, I don't know if he'd love it, but I mean, as a left-handed knife, this thing is so. I'm not left-handed, and it's so easy, but it's drop shutty, and it's so easy. Like your finger just lands perfectly right there in the hole. The Kaiser horn. Now I know to him, it doesn't have soul. All right, it doesn't have a soul. It is not a living creature. It is dead. My Carden N690, no soul, but it is fucking fidget fun for sure. Yes. What's up, Mom? My mom's in here. What do you think of the Boker? I'm not a big Boker fan. Where'd it go? I'm not a huge Boker fan, but I've seen it and it looks good. I always thought it looked like a badass knife. But I don't know. I never tried it, but I almost got it a long time ago. Everybody's saying hi to the mama. Where is it? I noticed though that that bearing thing I noticed on the Kaisers, I noticed on a couple other ones. The little dent thing. I'm gonna show it in the one of the next reviews of Kaiser knives, so I can get a really zoomed up visual of it, because I noticed, it's it's not on all of them, but it's on the smoothest ones that they make. Like the ones that are just insanely smooth. They all have that same thing, which I thought was really interesting. The 220 Jelly Jerry Tucson is pretty awesome. The flipper tab's kind of pokey, but still awesome. What'd he say? I got an expensive Boker today in the mail. Overnight shipping, covered in metal shavings as fine as dust. Garbage. That sucks, man. That really sucks. That Kaiser's ass, Jared. But I did order in October. Keep getting told it's F. You know, they have a titanium version coming, Lefty, of the October, but yeah, it is sweet. It's very sweet. And if you play with it for a day or two, it just gets stupid smooth. But I will say I obviously doubt it's as good as the 5.5, but it's still, for the money compared, it's definitely going to be a good runner up. It is M390 or 20 CV, sorry, 20 CV, and I did sharpen it, felt pretty good. It's a good size. It's not a big knife, but it's a good size knife. The jimping's well done, but it's stupid smooth. It doesn't have that thing that I'm talking about that some of these other ones have. The other Kaisers have that are just like ridiculously smooth, but it is very, very smooth still. And for a lefty, it should be perfect for you, because I can do it lefty very easily. But they have a titanium version coming out. It's not out yet, but it's coming out soon. I'm really interested in it because this one's so good that it makes me think that titanium version is going to be badass. Even the flipper tab, as small as it is, I mean, super snappy, very, very snappy. Now you're probably going to get it and you're going to go like this. Oh, fucking sucks. Wham! Throw it against the wall. But no, if you it's got a little bit of jimping on the flipper tab. It's real easy to use. But obviously you have to kind of not light switch it, but pull down on it because of the way it's positioned. But it works really good. Did somebody say if you play with it a day or two, it gets stupid sore? If you play with it, it will grow. Boker is the oldest knife manufacturer in the world. Been making knives for over 150 years. What they do great is traditional slip joint knives. Their modern folders are outsourced to China. Boo-hoo. Now, I will say I think that that's an amazing story. I did watch their history and all that stuff, and I think that's an amazing story. But after 150 years, you think you could build some fucking knives. Oh, build a good knife. I'm not saying they don't have any good knives, but out of all the knives I've tried, there's only a couple that I thought were really good. Like I've yet to see any that have just stood out. Right now, I got a Boker Quaken. Everything you could imagine wrong with a knife is wrong on that one. Now, it came that way, but not from the company. Somebody sent it to me, said, if I wanted to fix it, I could. But the point is that's what happened to it. I know I have my great Uncle Boker slip joint he carried in World War II. I carry the knives I buy from them are from Germany. Right. I'm sure that the ones made in their factory, their shop, the slip joints are of great quality. And I did hear that they were making some like special editions. I actually checked one out that had the wood from, I think that was from Timbo. I think it was Timbo's. The wood was from their old shop or something like that. Something like that. Where's Douglas? I want Boker to be good, but they blow nuts. The traditionals are different. Always heard they're good, but I don't know if I trust the traditional guy. Yeah, I'm not. That's the thing is they can. I know they do great traditionals just because traditional guys say that. I'm just not a traditional guy. I don't carry them. I don't. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like them. I do like them. I've had a lot of them growing up. I can respect them. I love the build quality, and I think in a lot of ways, if you're really wanting high end materials like I don't know, ivory or mochatai or woolly mammoth tooth inlays, that's a good way to get it without having to spend an incredible amount of money. So I think they're very good for collector pieces, pass me downs, things like that. But as a carry, as a pocket knife, I won't carry one really. They do cool concepts, but don't get modern knives. They got cool clip point designs, but can't bring it together for good stuff. I've seen great designs. That's the thing. I've seen some great designs. It's mostly the execution because some of their designs are amazing, or at least great, but the execution of the design is where it's at. John Evans says, I'm not a traditional guy either, but will grab some of Benny's Jack Wolf knives. There's a lot of companies, I think, that for traditional knives, man, it's like they can't come out fast enough. The traditional guys, man, they buy them up like GECs. Boker Roundhouse, designed by Late Bing and Lorian. There you go. And that's like the most important part because there's knives that I can look at and say, it's ugly, it's shit, I don't like it, it's not my style, but I'll get it in hand and say, wow, was this thing done good? Or wow, the action's good. Or wow, this thing has great geometry. Or wow, this feels good. You know what I mean? Like there's things about the knife and the quality it just stands out. Doesn't mean you have to like the knife. You can shit all over the design and what it looks like, and it's not great for you, but you can't deny good quality, right? When it's done right. But when it's done wrong, man, it stands out like a sore thumb. Like you just can't deny that. Like you can have the best design, the best everything. And if the execution is done wrong, it stands out like crazy. It's like a blonde with a black eye. What's up, Russ? But it's kind of like, when I was talking about the Clyde, the execution of this thing was so bad. Now, let me be clear. I did hear that this was the first version. They made a new version and I haven't tried it, so I can't confirm, but people said that the second version did fix some of the issues I talked about, which I hope they did. But why on earth, for a company like Giant Mouse that makes great knives, mind you, I like their knives, why on earth would they need the community to freak out about it, right? And say all these things are wrong for them to switch it. The first version should have came like that. Why are you making a knife this big, this lightweight, this little 25 thousandths behind the edge? Why is the lock face so tiny that it has rock really bad? And just so many little things that doesn't make sense on the knife. As so cool design, but shit execution. This should have been a 90 thousandths thick blade, 10 thousandths behind the edge. It should have been a little razor blade. And then the lock face geometry, for the lockup, it wouldn't really matter as much because it's such a lightweight knife. But I bet you a lot of these got lock rock because of the pressure you have to push this thing through or put onto this thing to push it through materials because it's so thick. Now, and then no choil, the plunge grind, they couldn't even sharpen the plunge grind because or couldn't even sharpen it all the way. It's literally unsharpened right here because the plunge grind. So what are you talking? Like, how could you let that leave a factory of a knife? You know, like when you make knives, it just doesn't make sense. Literally, the edge goes all the way. The plunge grind ends where my nail starts. I mean, that makes no sense. You don't put the plunge grind a quarter inch in front of where the edge starts. No, we didn't see Rocky yet. Where's old Rocky? I know she's around here somewhere. She's never too far away. Where the hell is old Rocky? Oh, Rocky. Rocky's right here. Oh, Rocky. Matt Lambert, what's up, bud? Man, I'm trying to think of the knives that I'm gonna sell, do the knife sale with. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Probably not. This was a gift, but I know the person that gifted to me wouldn't mind, especially if it went to, you know, a good place, or, you know, if I spent the money wisely. But I don't know. We'll see. But the Quest Custom Gent, awesome knife. It did have its issues, but badass knife though. Badass knife. I don't know what happened to them either. They I don't know if they just shut down or they sold the company or what. Yeah, everybody wants that 195. Everybody. Sweet knife, man. Yeah, I probably won't sell that just because they're so hard to get. I can't replace that one. Now I can replace it with the new version, but this is the badass version, in my opinion. The frag pattern. You can get the one with the mill lines. Lefty doesn't like himself. No, he does not. Hey, Lefty, I've got a video idea. Top 10 knives that fucking suck. We'll just watch his last 10 videos. Stop it, guys. Leave Lefty alone. He comes in here to hang out with us, and you guys are fucking bullying him. You guys are a bunch of bullies. Look in the mirror. You guys are fucking bullies. Yeah, the new version is just mill lines. They're not frag. This one's the frag pattern. So the new version is more like this, where it's got, if that'll even come up, it's just got lines like that. Come on, camera. Come on. There you go, camera. Yeah, the frag is sweet. I love the frag. You gotta love the frag. The frag is definitely badass. Today I was carrying I carried the Matt Degnan design from what's this? I've got one coming with the milled square. Really? Where'd you get it from? That's awesome. Did you already tell me that? I think you told me that, but I was picturing the one with the milled lines. But this is the Concept Stellar. Awesome knife. It's a Matt Degnan design, S35VN titanium frame lock. The flipper tabs are positioned a little weird, but it makes sense when you open it because it's not made to hold like this. You just really can't. It's made to hold like this. I found out from use, or like this in the pinch grips and stuff, which is pretty cool. And it does have the blade shape to, to benefit that type of handling. I think Lefty, yeah, you guys bullied him out of here. Now I'm not even gonna be able to go on his fucking live tomorrow. And you can reverse flick it if you're good at that. And then secondary, I carried the Infinity, the Kaiser Infinity. Oh, this one has those mark or those things I was talking about. And you know what? I think you guys might be able to see it really good right now. If you look inside there, see those marks on the side, how on both sides, right dead smack in the middle, there's like a cutout, a little square cutout on both sides. For whatever reason, their smoothest knives have that. And I mean, it is stupid smooth. Come on, camera. Damn it. Every time I do that, this shit happens. Damn it, this camera. Let me see if I can go like this. See if I can get the focus now. Come on, focus. Focus. This is just going to piss me off. There we go. Okay, Neeves, can you touch on how, where'd it go? Ninth Chamber asks Neeves, can you touch on how the newer finger flicking mini sheepdog compares to the regular one, specifically the liner lock access? Okay, so the new one, the mini sheepdog has actual cutout now. So the regular flipper doesn't have a cutout. That's why it was tight to get to the liner. The non-flipper version has a cutout. So it's sweet. Easy access to the lock bar. And it's the detent is perfectly tuned for the reverse flick. And guess what, guys? I got a large one coming. It's probably not going to be here for a month, but I'm pretty sure I got one coming. Yes, you can see my calluses. Got plenty of them. Got lots of calluses. Demco 80/20 sheep's foot shark clock knife are only available on eBay for freaking $250. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I gotta say. Don't do it. Just wait for the next batches to come. Better ones will come. So, and most likely the people that already have the first one that dropped are not going to probably get. I'm not saying they're not. Some people are, but a lot of people aren't going to go out and get the next batch. So you'll have a lot better chance. He's got a big one coming. Yeah, the big non-flipper. The pocket slash tool. I don't know what the pocket slash tool is. Was it razor? So the you're talking about the mini? Sorry. The mini version you can order right now. The large one is coming soon. So I think it's supposed to be out next month. Unless if they just dropped it like today, but yesterday it wasn't available, the big one yet. I didn't order it. Concept is supposed to send it to me, hopefully. We'll see what happens. What is everybody? I was just fidgeting with the Matt Degnan just now. But I got knives all around me, so I'm ready to fidget. Malice. I was gonna, oh man, I wish Lefty EDC was still in here. I was gonna ask him if he ever tried the Malice, but he probably wouldn't like it though. It's not a lefty. But I can flick it lefty, but it's probably easier for him. But then again, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm better at flicking lefty than he is. Just not with this knife. What's your favorite budget knife with 2 methods of deployment? Great action, no Warncliffe. Oh, here he is. Did you ever try the Wiha Malice? You're talking all kinds of shit. No, I know it did the same thing when I was on your live. I was trying to say stuff and just kept taking it away. And I thought you could see them and were ignoring me. I got mad. I got mad and left. Then when I came back in, somebody else said it. And you were like, yeah, I don't know why it does that. And I was like, oh, man, it's retracting my messages. But nope, I'd actually love to. If you want to try, you can. The only thing is, though, for the lefty, you do have to hold low, like on the clip. If you hold the clip, it's easy, but you can't hold the lock bar. I mean, if you hold it low, I guess you probably could, but I hold it like this right over the clip, and I can do it easily lefty, but Righty, you can do it perfectly every time, but you know how it is. That's the problem with lefty EDC is the lock bar, which you gotta understand because he is try fucking reverse flicking any frame lock left-handed. It's a son of a bitch because you're putting pressure on the detent ball. When you're doing it righty, you don't do that. Your finger goes right past it and right over the lock bar, so it's really easy. So it would be tougher being a left-handed person in a right-handed world trying to find, and especially for somebody who loves reverse flicking, because that's the thing. He's, you know what you like, right? Everybody knows what they like, and obviously he likes, reverse flicking. So liner locks are going to be even if you love frame locks, they're never going to work out as good as a liner lock because the lock bar's covered. So it ain't easy being a lefty. Yeah, I'll send it to you. No problem. I'll send it to you. And if you fucking hate it, you hate it. I mean, it's one of those things where if I couldn't flick it either, I personally, it would aggravate the shit out of me too. With any knife, because what's even worse, right? You get a knife and you like it, but you can't fucking flick it. That'd piss anybody off. Has anyone had a SOCOM Elite that had the glass breaker rattle? I've broken glass with mine and it's fine. Can you send it in? They'll fix it. But no, mine doesn't rattle at all. Mine's good to go. This is a badass knife, man. For thumb stud action, it's really good. I love it. I'll just throw it in the trash and give it away if I don't. No big deal. There you go. Get the fuck out of here. This piece of shit. Did you ever try? This was one I was actually really interested because this one's pretty easy to reverse flick left-handed. Even with a little bit of pressure on the lock bar. The Artisan Arion. Did you ever try this one? I think this is one you would actually appreciate. You have to, I mean, I hold it a little bit low on the lock bar, but it still, since the hole travels down so far, it's not a big deal to hold it a little low. Remember, I'm not left-handed, by the way. So if I skip off of it, I'm not left-handed. But this would be one I think would possibly work good for you. Bye, Mom. Love you. One I know you would like, personally, I really think you would like, is this the Kaiser Land. This thing is like on another level of smooth, but you can easily reverse flick it even left-handed. Ariane sucked ass. Watch my video. At least the one I had. All right, well, I'm trying. You said you already got an October coming, so I can't do that one to you. But that's one I actually thought of, and I would have sent to you if I had the review done the last time. I don't remember if I had it yet, but I think I might have had to do the review or something. But this is one I do think you would like, but we'll see. And a titanium version's coming. The shootout at the OK Corral. The land is from another planet smooth. Yeah, it is. It's unreal smooth. But you know what? It has that thing I was talking about where they have that little cutout that I don't know what it does. I don't know if it makes some type of balancing thing or I don't know. I have no idea what it does. But whatever, every knife that's ridiculously smooth has it. So, yo, Jared, you know how to sharpen Magnacut? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love sharpening Magnacut. I know some people say, it's hard to sharpen or whatever. It is so easy to sharpen. What's up? Knife collector. It's really good. The land is sweet. And my card is really good. Mine is picking up some strong patina, though. I might wash it before the review. But yeah, it's on another level of smooth. You can let it hit your finger, but if you don't, it's just going to come straight down. And it's easy to reverse flick. You know what it reminds me of, kind of? The Stinger. The meaning, because it has just a little cutout like the Stinger. So you have to get your meat of your finger in there, and then it's good. Flipping the hoe back, husky. So I know a bunch of you guys were wanting me to get one of these, how is it, the Justice? The Kaiser Justice, and I finally got 2 of them in. I'm definitely going to be giving 1 away, if not 2. But I do have some Kaisers I'm going to give away here pretty soon to you guys. Very similar. I got a Spyderco Mule in Z Max PM, and it's very similar to Maximet. Yeah, Maximet, it's a very hard steel. So using diamonds like I do makes high carbide steels easy to sharpen. So yes, if you use aluminum oxide or ceramic, it's going to be harder to sharpen. But using diamonds, to me, it's just as easy as sharpening M390 or S30V. It might take a little bit longer. The biggest deal after you know how to sharpen is thick edges. So if, like, put it this way, I would rather sharpen a thin edge in Maximet than a fucking thick ass edge in HCR. Just because since it's thin, it sharpens very fast. Anything thick takes a while because you're removing so much more steel. 857. 857. What stories did I have tonight? Did I have a story? I think I did have a story I was going to tell. Notice my mom gets out of here before them stories come out. I don't know. Maybe we'll take it easy on a story tonight. Glad it worked out. Just breaking in mind modded OCD for EDC with Spotty Hole, among other things. Rock Lotus says, help me pick my next purchase, Kaiser Land or Civivi Elementum D2. Kaiser Land. I think the Civivi, you know what? If you want a small knife, Civivi Elementum. If you want a large knife, which ain't big, but just a full-size knife, then the Land. As you can get a full grip on the Land. The Elementum is short, it's small. It's not a full-size knife. It's basically the size of this. So, it's just more of a compact knife. What? No, sorry. We'll do story time. Crime time. Okay, crime time. All right. So the one story I got, the problem with is it might take a little while to tell it, to make it make sense. So, all right. So this one is, all right. So I was going to tell 1 or 2 stories. So I'll let you guys pick which one. One of them is about when I was a lot younger, right? And has to do with throwing bottles at cars. Okay. Little guy. And then another one has to do with me being a grown man and having to pass a drug test. Which one do you guys want? I'll tell a story tomorrow night. I'll get one ready. Flipping pages, not knives. No, I got notes because what you guys know how I write notes? All I do is I write 1 word or 1 sentence. That's what I do. And it reminds me of what, so like the ceramic bearings. I put ceramic bearings being self-lubricant. Magnacut, I just put Magnacut. That one I never got to. So I'm expanding the channel. Going on Lefty EDCs tomorrow. And then Nitro V testing, triple B. With the stories, I put bottles, dynamite, stories, Bow story. Just little words like to put in my brain so I remember right away the story or the thing. Can you do a video on the harpoon blade shape explaining its uses and benefits? Well, I've done a lot of blade shape videos. But yeah, I'm sure I will. I'm trying to think if I have a harpoon blade shape coming up. I do have some harpoon blade shapes, but yeah, I'm sure I will. But the harpoon blade shape is basically just to get a quick breakdown. You know, it's the same thing as like a drop point blade. So it's a versatile blade. Now, where the harpoon come in is to reinforce the tip. So a straight back is kind of the same idea, except for it was different. So a straight back design is just a knife with a straight spine. So it has a very strong spine. It's harder use than a drop point. A drop point blade is like a jack of all trades blade. It's just a blade that can do a little bit of everything. You know, jack of all trades. It's not a master of anything, but it can do everything pretty well. Well, the harpoon, you know, obviously a harpoon, you guys know what a harpoon is, you know, for like whaling and stuff, you know, for, you know, you spike it in something and you can't pull it out. So then you can reel it in, you know, but for the blade shape, the harpoon made it to where the tip drops down like a drop point, but then it also reinforced the tip. So it helps get in a more acute tip while also keeping it strong. Mine was throwing snowballs at cars, and then one time putting all sorts of foods through a guy's sunroof. It was about 13. So I was younger than that. I don't know. Okay, so SOBX, a worthy pursuit. I've done some shit to pass a drug test in high school. So I don't know which one you guys want to hear, so I'll just run with one of them. So I'll tell the bottle story. Whatever, it doesn't really matter if you guys want to hear the other one. Okay, drug test story. All right, drug test story. So this one's more interesting because I'm an adult, right? The other one, I'm a kid and just being stupid. And I'll tell it maybe after if this one goes quick. But so I you know, I had gotten arrested, got in trouble, and no, so I had not gotten a felony yet. Okay, so I was locked up, and I was, you know, I went to jail and caught the case. Now, pre-trial, for anybody who doesn't know about pre-trial, I got arrested for throwing pennies out of a car at another car when I was like 13. Total dick move. That is a dick move. Me and my cousin, not to get off subject, me and my cousin were doing the same thing out of the back of one of those really old Blazers. Back in, I'm talking about like a really old one. They had the windows that went down, and we were throwing pennies out of the back of it. And this dude, we knew the guy, but he had like a fucking hot temper. So my dad was watching, driving, and as soon as we stopped, he got out of the car and came after us as kids. And my dad jumped out of the car and grabbed him by the throat and threw him up against the car and started like chewing him out. They started fighting, but everything wound up being just fine. But basically, my dad went after him for going after us, and he went after us for throwing the pennies. But his car was a piece of shit. And, you know, we were fucking with him. Anyways, so I never had to take a drug test. So what are you guys talking about? Never heard of it. Okay, so pre-trial. All right, pre-trial backstory. So pre-trial, if you guys don't know what pre-trial is, I think different states will have different versions of pre-trial. Basically, pre-trial is a system where they're letting you out of jail, right? So they're gonna let you back out on the streets, or maybe you're going to get on probation, but you still have court, right? You still have to go to court. So what it's doing is, I can't think of why it's called pre-trial, but they're basically convicting you, like treating you as you're guilty before you're proven. That's why I always say you are proven guilty and you have to prove your innocence. That innocent until proven guilty is full of shit, right? It really is. Anybody who's locked up right now in jail and still hasn't been to court yet can attest to that. So, anyways, pretrial is basically where when you go to court, at least my version of pretrial, when I went to court every month, right? So every 30 days, you got to go to court for your case, for you, because, cases can take 6 months, a year, longer, whatever. You do have the right to a speedy trial, but when you go to court, you have to go to pretrial right after. So what it does is, when you leave court, you have to go to the pretrial office. Now, the pretrial office is where they're just going to ask you, like, you gotten in trouble since the last time you came to court, blah, 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 and they're going to drug test you. So I avoided that the first 2 times I had to go to court, which was weird. It was crazy. So I'm thinking, they ain't going to send me to pretrial, right? And they send everybody to pretrial. That's the thing. Everybody ends up going to pretrial, especially for cases like I had. So since I had a bad case, they let me out of jail because I hadn't, because it was at the time, because like my other convictions were all misdemeanors. So since it was technically my first felony, even though it was 3 in one shot, they technically, it was technically my first felonies. So they wound up letting me get bond and everything. And now I have pretrial, but they didn't give it to me yet. So I went to court twice without getting it. So I'm like, I'm good. I can fucking do drugs basically. So I did. And so when I went to court, the next time I went to court, I went and seen the judge. Everything went okay. And then he goes, oh, by the way, on your way out of here, make sure you go and sign into pretrial. And fucking my whole world just fucking ended right there. Like, fuck. If I go into pretrial and I piss dirty, I'm getting locked up. There ain't no fucking ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to jail. And I can't go to jail, not because I don't want to go to jail, because I am a fucking addict. So I'm going to go through withdrawals, right? That's the worst part. If you do drugs and you go to jail isn't the worst part. It's the withdrawals you're going to go through while in jail. So not only are you with, the people you're with and the type of people you're with and lots of, men, all right, and everything, you're going through withdrawals, which is not what you want to be in. So anyway, so to me at this moment, this is I guess a fight or flight moment. Okay. So I had the choice to run. So this is the thing with pretrial though. The first time, oh wait, you know what? I messed this up just now, because what happened was I did wind up going to pretrial already, but they hadn't drug tested me. The second time, and I think I knew this at the time, but like you think you're going to get lucky. So they don't drug test you the first time. They just get your information, get you in the system, and the second and third and fourth and fifth and all the other times after that, they drug test you. So I think I was thinking I was going to get lucky and not get drug tested. But the judge told me to make sure I went in there and got, drug tested. So I went in there. Now, once you go in there, you're stuck. There's no running. Okay. There's a door. Once you get past that door, they have to let you out. It locks behind you. So there's no way I can walk in, find out, right? Is he going to give me a drug test? And then if he does, I bounce, right? There's none of that. You're locked in there. Now, so when I went back in there, salute to you. Good for you, man. So when I went in there into pretrial, I'm locked in there. There's like 5 guys, right, sitting next to me, and he's telling me, you got to take this drug test, right? He hands me the thing, and there's one bathroom. There's a door to my left where like the pretrial officers go inside. That's their office. They all have one office. There's like 5 desks in there. You're sitting against a wall on basically a bench. In front of you is a bathroom. To the right of you is the door to jail. So if you fuck up, you're going through that door. If you pass, you're going down the hall and back outside where you came from. So I'm sitting there and my world is just collapsing around me. All right. I can't go to fucking jail. All right. I can't, because, think think about what people are willing to do to not go through withdrawals, like just about anything. I mean, obviously. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to come up with a plan in my head. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? 5 guys are back there with me, and I keep looking up. There's a camera there too, mind you. There's a camera watching. So I got to bypass the camera too. I got to bypass the camera. So I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. What am I going to do? Well, so I came up with this plan, right? There's this kid next to me, right? This kid looks pretty clean cut. Doesn't look like he's been in too much trouble. Oh, you're clean, bro. You're clean. I know he's clean. And I ask him straight up, like, hey, you gonna pass this drug test? He's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. You sure about that? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, you want to make $100, bro? And I can tell right when, like he's scared now. Like he don't want no fucking part of it. No part of it. I can tell he's scared. I'm like, listen, man, I'm gonna make this real easy. Because all right, so I have my cup. All right, I have my cup, and I'm allowed to try to go to the bathroom because I have to go to the bathroom. Now, normally they watch you, okay? Sometimes they don't. You can just go in, hurry up and go, especially if it's taking you a long time. And I'm pretending at the moment that I can't pee. I'm acting like I'm drinking water, walking back and forth, acting like I'm trying. Now, as soon as you get done, they take it and they fucking zap it with a gun. They want to make sure it's of temperature, and it's also in the cup, tests it for everything, and it makes sure it's the right temperature. If it's the temperature's off, they know you did something. So you're fucked. So I asked this dude, I said, listen, bro, because also, as soon as you get done taking the test, you pour it out. They don't take it from you, right? So the cup itself is the drug tester. So it has the drug test on it. So when you're done pissing it, you just put the top on it, hand it to them, they zap it with a laser, and the thing tells them whether or not you're dirty, and the laser tells them the temperature. So then if you pass, they say, okay, pour it out, and they let you pour it out in the toilet. So there's a garbage can in the bathroom. So I'm like I'm literally scheming all this stuff in my head. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I'm in there for like an hour and a half already now. So there ain't no way I'm not going to have to pee, and they're not letting me out until I go. And for whatever reason, like if you don't go, they're going to lock you up. Like, cause they know something's up. You've been in here too long. You're drinking a gallon of water. So I asked the kid, I said, listen, I'm going to take some paper towels and I'm going to wrap it up into a ball. And I know this sounds disgusting, but you're going to do anything to stay out of jail when you're withdrawing. So I said, I'm going to throw this in the garbage can. I said, when he tells you to pour your piss out, just pour it on top of the paper towels. Act like you pour it in the toilet and then flush the toilet. Just pour it in the garbage. Just pour right in the garbage, right? Pour it in the garbage. That's all you got to do, brother. Pour it in the garbage. You can make yourself a clean hundo. Pour it in the garbage and then flush the toilet. I didn't think he was going to do it. I thought he was going to chicken shit out. I know he's looking at me like I've never met you before. I am not getting locked up for you. I know that's what he's thinking. And I'm thinking like, please, God, make him do this for me. I was probably even praying too, like, please, Lord, let this motherfucker be my teammate today. And sure as shit, he pissed, came out. The dude tested it. He was clean. And that was another thing I was worried about. Please be clean. Like, he might be dirty. Like, what if he comes out and they're like, you got fucking meth in your system or something? I don't know. Anyway, so he goes in the bathroom and I hear the toilet flush. And when he walks out, I see the look, like he gave me that look. And I'm like, oh, thank God he did it. Right now, I've got to go in there with a guy behind me, mind you. Okay. So the guy's going to come in there with me to make sure I'm peeing. And I have to get the pee that's on them paper towels into that cup while I'm pretending to pee. So magic hands, right? You got to be magical at this point. So I first walk in there. So this is how I do it. I first walk in there and pretend like I'm trying to go, right? He's not behind me yet. Right in that moment, I grab the stuff. Fucking, I don't care about my hands at this point. I got to pass this test. I squeeze it into that damn cup, right? Throw it back in the toilet. And then I put the cap on. I put the cap on. Came back out and covered the bottom of it. Like, if the pee's right here, because it was only a little layer, I'm covering it with my finger like this, so he can't see that there's already something at the bottom. And I said, all right, I'm ready. I said, I'm ready to go. He said, you're ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. So, and I want to do this fast because I want that temperature to be there. I need the temperature to be there. The temperature's dropping every second. So he goes in there, and and remember, or you guys don't remember, but it was only a little tiny bit, because what can you squeeze out, right? So it's a tiny, tiny bit. So I had to make it seem like I'm just tinkling. Like, I can't do a full pee for you, man. I'm fucking drip dropping here. This is all I got. And he's like, oh, that's good enough. Because, okay, another thing I forgot to say, my pretrial officer, who I originally had, who was a complete asshole, left because it was taking so long, and left this other guy in charge of me, who was very old, seen everything in the world, looks like he does acid, and he don't care. So I got lucky that he was the guy left in charge of me rather than somebody else. So when I handed it to him, he didn't even do the laser. And I know if he would have, I would have failed. So thank God he didn't do the laser. He just seen it in the cup, seen it passed, and says, all right, dump it out. And I got to leave, and I had people waiting for me, right? And they seen me back there. They're just ready for me to go to jail, right? And I'm like telling them, no, wait. Like, I got something up my sleeve. Just give me a second. I'm making it out of here. So I wind up walking out a free man out of fucking pre-trial, which I still to this day, thinking about all the steps I had to do and how long it took, and looking at the camera and watching this and doing this and scheming the thing for 2 hours, I still can't believe I made it out. Because think about the chances of making it out of something like that. Like, it's very slim. All right, without having fake piss with you or some other scheme, to go in there dirty and walk out of there is just mind-boggling. But I passed it. I got it done. And that was it was fucked up is I did wind up after that. I think it was right after that. I did wind up getting locked up again after that for a dirty piss, but I didn't piss dirty. I told the judge I was dirty because I seen the person before me went up there and had a dirty drop from pretrial. And he says it, and the judge said, if you would have just told me you were dirty, he's like, I'd let you leave. He's like, but since you lied to me, you're going to jail. Locked him up. And I'm thinking like, oh, fuck. I got to tell this guy the truth, right? He's going to ask me, are you clean? Are you going to pretrial? And I need to say, probably not, right? So when I walked up to him, I was like, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with this judge because he just strung the other guy up for lying to him. So when I went up to him, I said, he says, you're going to go to pretrial and take a drug test. Are you going to be clean? I said, probably not. And he said, what? He goes, lock his ass up. He locked me up real quick. But I think that time after that last time I got locked up was the last time I got locked up. I believe, if I can remember correctly. Because then after that, I did wind up, so I passed drug tests for a long time by just doing dumb shit and like drinking lots of water and like waiting like 12 hours till, you know, like before like of like the last time I did drugs to pass them. And I was like stringing it out, and it was getting ridiculous because I was sick every 2 days, every 3 days. They were drug testing me every week. And I was so sick constantly. I just finally gave up. I said, I got to get clean. And I wound up getting clean. So then I passed so technically I never failed a drug test then, right? During that time, not one. Technically I was dirty every time for like 6 months, but I never failed one. And I wound up passing my probation with flying colors. I did get locked up once for being dirty, but not because I pissed dirty, because I said I was dirty. Doesn't count. So, but yeah, and then I got clean and never went back. And when I went back to court, the judge actually they were going to let me off early, but I couldn't get off until I paid off so much money. And at that point, when I was clean, I didn't really care no more. So I wound up getting off a little late, and just paying my thing off like a little bit slower rather than faster and getting off early. But I passed it with flying colors in the end. Did you? No, I didn't give the dude the $100. When I went outside, he was gone. He didn't wait for me. He didn't care. And I felt that vibe from him too. Like I said, he was a good kid. The kid was a good kid. I could tell. And I'm not saying I took advantage of him because he was a good kid, but I took advantage of that. He's probably telling me the truth when he says he's clean. Everybody else, like, I didn't have a great chance. So, but no, he wasn't there. I went outside and he was gone. So, I didn't know who he was. Not a clue in the world. Washed my hands real quick afterwards, though. Jared, I have an idea for a guest on the show, Karen Neeves. I hear she's pretty funny. Yeah, I should have her on one of these days, shouldn't I? He was your piss angel. Yes, he was. He was my piss angel. That kid is probably out there. Yeah, but it wasn't as crazy for him because his part of it was so simple. I mean, I'm sure he is. And I'm sure he feels like his part was crazy. Like I guarantee his nerves were like wrecked doing it, but nothing like mine. Like I was the one risking everything. Hey, Lefty. Thanks, man. For the next nice and bottle. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, it was pretty crazy. What time is it? 9:22. All right, I'll save the pissiest knives, the pissiest knives. Telling that story is somewhat embarrassing because nobody likes to tell the story of when they had to squeeze piss out of a fucking paper or out of toilet paper. That's what it was, toilet paper. But hey, man, when you're withdrawing, you're gonna do anything to not get locked up. Especially if you've been through that and been in there withdrawing, you'll do anything to stay out of there. It is the worst shit in the world, being locked up and then on top of it withdrawing. I've told you guys some of the stories about running from the cops just not to get locked up. Some of the shit I would do to not get locked up, especially when I was a fugitive for fucking a year and a half. However long, like I jumped through hoops not to get arrested, and got away with it the majority of the time. He probably is telling the story. Some strung out guy was looking at me with crazy eyes, asking me to piss in the trash. I did it so he wouldn't stab me with the Kaiserland. Probably, it's probably something like that. Probably something. Definitely gotta run. All right, Lefty. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too. And I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to stories. We got 76 people here just heard me tell a story about how I squeezed piss into a cup not to fucking fail a drug test. Hope you guys know I get very vulnerable out here on Neevesknives and be telling some crazy ass stories. You guys are hearing some crazy shit from me. But sometimes you just got it. And that's exactly what it was. I had to pull every creative fucking thing out of my ass that day. And I'll tell you what, after it worked, you want to talk about happy? It's kind of like if you can't do a backflip and landing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about right now, any of you guys who can't do a backflip, think about trying to do a backflip and landing it, right? Not breaking your neck, not landing on your head, literally landing flat foot, perfect back foot or backflip. You would have such a big smile on your face. You'd be like, holy shit, I did it. That's the way it was. Like, I was walking out of there so my adrenaline through the roof because, to you, the way you feel is it's life or death. That's exactly how you feel. Like, I've been under situations where it was actually life or death and my adrenaline wasn't as high as doing stuff like that. So, all right, guys, I love you guys. Yeah, feels like you hit the lottery. Exactly. You just won $1 million. You just won your life back. You just won another free day, sir. Yeah, I was so happy I could actually pee in a cup after, right? Exactly. And that's another thing is trying to, to not pee because you can't pee. If you really pee, you're fucked. And after drinking so much water, I'm pretending mostly by drinking water, so I'm not actually really drinking that much water, but still though, 2 hours of pretending to drink water, you're drinking a bunch of water. All right, guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Peace. Dun, 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 dun.